Hey friends, let's make deviled eggs. There's a lot of ways to make deviled eggs, but this is just how I make mine. I have, ooh, they smell like farts. Okay. I've already boiled, hard boiled, a dozen eggs. If you don't know how to do that, I guess I can show you later. Let me know. Anyway, I've already hard boiled them and peeled them, so we're gonna cut them in half. And we're gonna make our deviled eggs. Here's the things that I use. Yes, I use ranch. Surprise. A splash of mustard. This is important, only this brand. You can use whatever you want, but that's what I like. Sweet relish. Dill weed. Paprika. I refill it. And one more ingredient, hold on. And hot sauce of your choice. And yes, I have a plastic bag on the top of it because, yeah, I broke the lid and I'm not wasting hot sauce. So those are my ingredients and I do not measure them. So sorry. So we're gonna do this as a, as your grandma cooked it. Oh, that looks right, honey. So let's get cutting and get our yolks into our bowl and mash them up.
Cut and scoop, cut and scoop, cut and scoop, cut and scoop. Cut and scoop, cut and scoop, cut and scoop.
It's 10, but we're going to stack the other two because we will eat them all.
Cut and scoop.
Fork, unless you have a potato masher, and I do, I just don't know where it's at, so.
Mash, 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 mash.
You see that it's mostly dusty, but there's still some pretty big chunks in there. You want no chunks.
Mash, 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 mash.
Okay, pretty much we're gonna add all of our wet ingredients next, and like I said, I do not measure these. I just go by the look, and I do give it a little taste near the end. This is brand new ranch. Use a ranch of your choice. This is just the one that we happen to have. I use this in place of most of my mayonnaise because it's got good seasoning in it. But I do add a small scoop of mayonnaise into here. We'll try that. We can always add more. Okay. I don't know how much ranch I poured in there just now. Probably between 1/4 and 1/2 a cup maybe. And that was probably like 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. About a tablespoon of mustard, probably about 1/4 cup of this. This is another one of your wet ingredients. Okay. This, use to your liking. It's just a splash. Probably a teaspoon, maybe half.
Smush it all together, mix it all together, get it all together now.
This is the consistency I like. I don't like the thinner consistency in my deviled eggs. I don't eat very much deviled eggs anyway, but this is what I think it should be. This sticks to my fork. You can have an egg after I finish, but if you give it, you see that it still is a liquid. It still pulls back together. I would call this really thick pancake batter. Maybe even waffle batter, because waffle is a little bit thicker. But this is the consistency I like. Now, I don't want to add any more wet ingredients into this because it's already too wet. Now, I like it real pickly. So that's why we add a little extra dill weed, because that's what they put in pickles. So we're just going to sprinkle or dump, whatever.
I really didn't mean to add that much dill, but it actually turned out well.
That's what we're looking for. Be right back. Okay, you have 2 choices now in terms of, well, you have more than 2. You could take a spoon, you could spoon this directly into that. That's fine. You can take a Ziploc bag. What I have found with the Ziploc bags is the expanded bottoms, which I love when I put food in, are really hard to pipe because of this angle that they have built in right here. It's really hard to use these expanded bottom Ziploc bags. So if you happen to buy some Ziploc bags that don't have the expanded bottoms, then those are a really cheap, always on hand option. But I do a lot of baking, so I always have disposable piping bags, and I bought them on Amazon in bulk. And because this is for a birthday party, I am going to use a tip, and I'm going to pipe it in so it has a little bit of a pretty decoration. So if you've ever used this before, the tips you buy, sometimes you can buy them like together as a kit, and then just you can keep your tips. Sometimes you just buy the tips. Been baking for a really long time, so I have a lot of tips. So as you can see, it's not going to let me push it much further than that. We are going to force it because it is plastic, but I'm going to back it down a little bit because this tells me where I need to cut it. I'm going to cut it off. And then I just take my finger from the tip and I push it in. And I do not know if you can see that, but this is where, let's see if we can see that. Maybe. Good focus. Okay, this is where the plastic ends. Right here. It's right there. You can barely see it. You can see it where the seam is at. And it's very tight in there so none of your stuff falls out of your tip. So, pro trick, turn it inside out. You can hold your hand like this. Put your hand in to make the opening. You can hold it like this. Or the trick that my mama taught me, get you a plastic cup. And you've already folded it now. Put your inside in there. You want to bend it and put it in there. I bent my tip down. You can't see it, but I'll show you as I pull it out. You see my tip got bent? That's okay because I want to fill up as much as possible. This is a much easier way to fill this than trying to hold it with one hand, because now I have almost 2 hands free to do this. So we're going to put this into here.
Almost 2 hands. Where'd my other hand go?
All empty, all scraped out, mostly clean. A little bit of mess, you know. And just for good measure to make sure. Nice flavor. I'm gonna go wash my hands and we're gonna pipe those into our egg cups. Okay. Clean up my spot a little bit too, because it is a little easier to clean as you go. And then sometimes I don't clean until the end of the night, so yeah, consistency is key.
Wipe.
Okay, now, because you put it into your cup, your hand is not dirty, your edges are not dirty. You can do this for a Ziploc bag too, if you have a big enough opening for a Ziploc bag. A little tiniest bit got in there. Oh well, it's worth the sacrifice. And then you're gonna hold this, pinch it, your dominant hand, okay? I'm left-handed, so dominant hand, twist. If this is very full, then you can make a twist further down towards the tip so that you have a little bit easier control. So my dominant hand twisted. I'm actually going to switch it to my non-dominant hand so my dominant hand can do the squeezing, because it behaves better like it's been being used for its whole life and not like a 5-year-old's uncoordinated hand. So I'm going to wipe this up again. Just a second. I'll be right back.
Clean.
Okay. I lied. I'm going to use my dominant hand at the top because it's not very big. But if this is heavy for you, use your non-dominant hand at the top and use your other hand on a little bit closer so you can give it a little squeeze. I am just going to squeeze it here. I'm going to set this like this for a second. I'm going to squeeze it like this. So this part holds the twisted part together, and this part is the squeezy part. My ring finger, my pinky and ring finger are my squeezy parts, okay? So you just go like this. Whoa, it's sliding out.
Squeeze.
Another trick is I get low. I like to not have this flopping around. So I take and I twist it around my finger, and it actually gives me like almost a hands free. and then I can twist it into my palm and keep squeezing.
Squeeze.
I have quite a bit left and I don't like to waste it, so we are going to basically insert it into anything that looks low. There's some air in there too.
Gotta get that last little bit there.
Now the wonderful thing about using disposable is I save the tip, I throw away the bag. So I'm going to cut it about here so it makes it easier to clean it. I'm going to put this either in water or like, you know, if I have like a cup that's sitting in the sink already, I'll just stick the whole thing in water. When I'm ready to, I just hold it open and rinse it out and then flip it inside out and push the tip out, throw away the rest of the bag, and hand wash the tip. So trash, save. Now we do our sprinkling of paprika, and this is to your heart's desire. Oh, make double sure it's paprika and not chili powder, or worse, cayenne pepper. Ask me how I know.
That was one of the worst mistakes I've ever made.
Done, and if I can get one out. There's your deviled egg. And I do find it sets up a little bit when you refrigerate it, so it's not quite so sloppy. But we're gonna taste test it. Yep. Listen, I can eat like 1 or 2 of these. But that's good. I kind of just like the middle part better. What else do you guys want to see me make? Put a comment down below. Thanks for watching. Bye.